Get in the end zone with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Shefty grew up a Knicks fan. Happy night for him last night. 20-point comeback win for the Knicks. Everyone knows Adam Schefter is an NFL reporter, insider, TV, radio, print, podcast superstar. We know him today as a fashion reporter because Schefter last night spent a lot of time giving us the best of the Met Gala. Adam, break down the fashion. Who won, who lost from the Met Gala in the NFL last night? Go ahead, Adam.
Saquon Barkley had a classic look at the Met Gala last night. Joe Burrow, of course, was striking, as was Justin Jefferson. But Stephon Diggs certainly had the outfit that garnered the most attention of all the NFL players in attendance at the Met Gala last night, Evan.
I love how formal. That was so perfect.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised, Adam. I thought you were going to go Justin Jefferson with the volume on the sleeves. His was quite stunning.
Well, Michelle, that was an attention grabber. And, yes, the volume on the sleeves was off the charts. And clearly, he put a lot of time and effort into it, and Justin Jefferson deserves much props for the outfit he wore to the Met Gala. Obviously, a lot of time and energy went into that selection. He's a fashionista, but Stephon Diggs, that was something like, out of Made to America, Coming to America, an Eddie Murphy movie.
It was giving Game of Thrones a little bit with the fur.
Adam, if you were invited, would you go to the Met Gala?
I've never sniffed an invitation, Evan, but of course I'd love to go. Yes, I would be invited as a paparazzi reporter to kind of yell out their names and take pictures, I think.
Joe, who are you wearing?
Exactly.
Joe, who are you wearing? / what's going on with Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah,
like, what? I'm here at the Met Gala. Don't ask me about Trey Hendrickson trade rumors. What's wrong with you? Oh, boy.
But really, what is going on with Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah, why don't we start there? What is going on with Trey Hendrickson? I didn't even think
now that we have
that.
Adam on the line, we might as well ask him.
And what was he wearing last night, Adam?
Trey Hendrickson is somebody that the Bengals want back, somebody I expect at some point they'll work it out. It's gone on for so long. And, again, it's such a hard trade to pull off because you got to compensate the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson. And you might be able to compensate one, but it's hard to compensate both. And, therefore, again, the two sides have been working and talking and trying to get it done. And I just have to think that in the end they'll figure out a way to get it done.
All right, on a serious note, obviously, we got some real football and real life stuff to get to. Adam, why is Justin Tucker no longer a Raven?
Well, okay. I think, obviously, there are all the off-the-field situations. There are the accusations from the 16 women at these massage parlors that Justin Tucker has vehemently denied publicly twice. We have that issue. We all know it's there. From the Ravens' standpoint, they cannot legally say that that is the issue. They cannot say that because then they open themselves up to a grievance, which maybe they're grieved anyway. But you can say it's a football issue, okay? I think we in the public all look at it a certain way, and we can think what we want to think. But you can also say unequivocally that Justin Tucker missed kicks last year that contributed directly to 3 of their losses. You can say he's coming off his worst NFL season. You can say he's scheduled to make over $4 million. You can say that they drafted one of the best kickers in the country and are going to sign this other one from Wyoming. So you can say it is a football decision. You can say that. Now, Justin Tucker, his representation, might not agree with that. But this is, I believe, about a legal move. And that's why they're not saying what people are thinking, and yet why they're insisting it's a football decision. Because you can say it is a football decision, but we all know how everything else plays into this football decision.
Adam, the press release that Eric DeCosta and the Baltimore Ravens put out was kind of complimentary to Justin Tucker. They talked about who he was as a person. They talked about his contributions to the organization. And as you mentioned, with everything going on off the field, I think that took some people off guard a little bit, that's the tone that they would strike. What's been the reaction to the way that the Ravens approach this as far as the press release is concerned?
Again, what I would say to that, Michelle, is that's their relationship with him. They can say whatever they want. We all can look at it and think what we think. And I think that you have to think about this as a legal issue. Okay? So this is about the Ravens doing what's best for their team, no matter how much the public likes or dislikes it or agrees or disagrees with it. This is the Ravens taking the steps that they feel like they need to for, you can make the argument, the greatest kicker in NFL history, that they need to do to move forward. People might not like the language. They might not like the tone. They might not agree with either. But the Ravens are doing what they have to do, I believe, legally, to protect themselves.
We're talking with Adam Schefter, ESPN NFL senior insider. Adam Schefter podcast available wherever podcasts are found, and as always brought to us by ZipRecruiter. I can't believe I'm going to say what I'm about to say. It's been quiet around the Cowboys recently. And then this weekend, we learned that Brian Schottenheimer, head coach, has decided he's going to move the lockers around and change things up. What has been the vibe around the Cowboys in the league as to what Brian Schottenheimer is going to be as a head coach?
Well, I think what he's going to be as a head coach is probably better than people expect, because the expectations across the league have not been high. People have thought that the Cowboys settled, that they didn't hire the right guy, they didn't go for the big, sexy name. But I think what people are forgetting also is that 15 years ago, Brian Schottenheimer was one of the hot head coaching candidates, a guy that was in demand, the guy that interviewed for other jobs. He was turning down head coach interviews, which I think if he was asked about today, he probably would regret doing. And he comes from those bloodlines. He comes from a Hall of Fame coach. He's not an idiot. The guy's been around it. So I guess my approach and perspective would be for people to be a little bit more open-minded about somebody whose history is so deep in coaching and whose bloodlines run so deep and thick in that area before we write him off and dismiss him as a poor hire.
Adam, Aaron Rodgers made some headlines over the weekend at the Kentucky Derby. A lot of people speculating about a ring on his finger. And it's not a Super Bowl ring, it was a wedding ring. But I'm wondering if he's any closer to a football decision. What are you hearing about Aaron Rodgers and if he's going to play for the Steelers or any other team this upcoming season?
See, this is what you get into when you hit May 6th. You get into wedding rings, Met Gala fashion, all sorts of all-season questions that are begging to be answered. If Aaron Rodgers did indeed get married, obviously he was busy, and that would help explain maybe why he's put off some things, if that is in fact the case, whether or not he's married. And so, by the way, does anybody wear a ring on that finger if they're not married? I'm just asking out loud.
Okay, you just brought up such a great topic.
That is a good question.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's do this, all right? If I were to tell you there is someone in the world that would wear a wedding ring on their ring finger on their left hand that is not married to protest the concept of a marriage and a wedding ring, Aaron Rodgers is atop the power rankings.
Like he's going to somehow have commentary on the construct of marriage.
Absolutely. Like this ring on this finger should actually mean peace on earth, and it should not mean this. Like, I don't know who else would be atop that.
You know what would be a baller move is if he put the ring on his finger and he said, "I'm married to the game. I'm playing for the Steelers this year." That would not be. That would be terrible. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Well, Adam, I just want an answer.
Adam, you are the epitome of cool, of course. Would that be cool?
But I appreciate and respect your rankings, your power rankings of people most likely to wear a wedding ring that aren't married. But I come back to my question. Honestly, have we ever heard of anybody ever wearing a ring on their wedding finger that wasn't married?
I have never heard of that.
That finger is pretty much claimed for
marriage.
Now, have we ever heard of anybody that wears a ring on that finger and is a proponent of ayahuasca and has spent some of the off seasons that he has, like skipping mini camps to go to Egypt? Like, has anybody ever done that combination? No. So that gets back to your original point, Evan, that he would rank top the power ranking.
I'm now not Schefty. I'm now reporting there's no way he's married because of this exact reason, that this is his latest protest of the concept of marriage, which I don't care if people are married or not, irrelevant. But wearing the wedding ring as if you're married is a fascinating thing. It's remarkable. Wow, I don't know where we go from here.
But do we have any update on him on if he's going to play?
Yeah. Is he going to be with the Steelers?
Is he going to play football or what?
I forgot about that part.
I still think that he's going to wind up in Pittsburgh. I think they think he's going to wind up in Pittsburgh. I think that is the belief and the expectation within the organization. Why he hasn't done it is up to him. Whether or not he was married or just protesting the institution of marriage, that's his call. But I do think ultimately he's going to wind up playing football for the Steelers. Like, a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, I think the people that know him some believe that he does not want last season and the taste that it left to be the last time he played in the National Football League. That's